This is a quick video tutorial of how I make my gluten-free rice crackers. I'm starting out with just some white jasmine rice that I ground up in my Vitamix. I'm sorry, but I don't measure anything, so I'm just going to pour, this is probably a cup and a half or so, into this container. I try not to use plastic in my house, but I do make an exception with this because it doesn't stay in there long, and I really need that little funnel spout. Pick this up at a kitchen store for a couple of dollars. Okay, to my rice I add just a little bit of salt. Again, I don't measure, but I'm guessing probably maybe a tablespoon of salt, because this is going to make quite a few crackers. If you can adjust the salt as needed. And I'm just going to stir in some plain water. So far we've got nothing but rice, flour, and salt in there. And the amount of water is going to vary a little bit. You want a kind of thin batter, but you don't want it to be so loose that it runs all over the place. And this will start to thicken up as the flour absorbs some of the water. You just kind of have to get the feel for it. I can tell that this is already going to be a little bit too thick, but before I thin that out any, you could do these crackers without cheese, but I want cheese in these, so I'm going to add just a handful of homemade cheddar cheese. You can use any kind of cheese that you want. I don't like the dyes and all that are in commercial cheese, so this is just some homemade. Just put that in there. And then obviously I'm going to need to add some more water to this. Meanwhile, I'm preheating my Cuisinart Pizelle press. I'm preheating that while I make my batter. Okay, so I'm just going to add some more water here. I wish I could give you all measurements, but it's just not something that I do. I go by feel. I just add more flour if I need it, or more water if I need it to be thinned out a little bit. And this is going to be just about right. I'll show you the consistency here when I get it all blended together. Let's give that a good stir. Now keep in mind, we've got nothing in here except rice flour, salt, water, and cheese. Now you can use any kind of rice, but you don't want to use enriched rice because it's going to be very gummy from all the stuff they spray on it to enrich it. So you'll probably want to go with an organic rice. And you can see here the batter is thick but loose, if that makes any sense. And then all I'm going to do, I keep a paper towel handy right next to me here because this is going to drip a little bit. So I just open my press, which has been well preheated, and I'm just going to pour in a couple of tablespoons. You'll see it start to spread a little bit. You don't want to totally fill because when you close the lid it's going to spread itself out. Alright, and then you want to be careful when you do close the lid because there's going to be a lot of steam. So I let the steam kind of release a little bit, and then I lean in and push until it latches. And then I will let that go. You'll see that it's kind of steaming like crazy there. And I'll let that go until the steam stops, and then the crackers are finished. Okay, the steaming is stopped on the first round of crackers, and they're probably going to be stuck to the top of the lid. I kind of expect that. That's okay. Yep, sure enough they are. See, they're stuck to the top. Not a big deal. I use either a fondue fork or one of these little forks that's for dipping chocolate. Both are very handy, and just being very careful not to touch the nonstick coating there. I just pull it loose and pull off my cracker. It's too hot for me to hold to show you, but there you can see a nice toasty cracker. Take that off, and then I just pull my batter back over and give it another stir. You want to stir it before each round. Make sure it's about the right texture. Just pour in some more. Remember to be mindful of the steam. Close it, let it get the worst of the steam out for a minute, and then just push down until that little latches on. And that's one of the things we were talking about, is the quality of the latch. That thing's good and sturdy, and I'm not easy on it. So now that I can handle the crackers enough to show you, this is what they look like. And you can make them a whole lot neater than I do. I don't worry if they run over the edge, but if you want to neaten them up, you can break those little edges off. Let's see if I can make one a little bit neater. You can break the little edges off and have a nice neat cracker, but they taste just as good to me if they're not neat. And here we have a plate full of Pizelle crackers. If you make these without the cheese, they're going to come out pretty much this color, the lighter color all the way throughout. You can add herbs to them. You can add any kind of seasoning you like, a little chili powder, whatever you like. And I've also been known to make them in chocolate. And they come out totally different, but very light and delicious cookie. Enjoy!